Well, welcome to well, welcome to another live stream with your host We-On-Loc. I am doing both just in case this one just croaks on me, which our last successful one on Restream was a successful one, I have to say. A more successful one, or maybe I'm using Firefox now. I'm using Firefox instead of this linky dink shit that I'm using right now. Firefox works better, anyways. In my opinion. In my opinion, it works. So, anyway, try not to be too long with y'all because I know y'all got other engagements to get into. Shall we start with I would say, our first topic. Number one, I hope tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow is when we know if Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is going to win the primary. It looks like to me she is ahead of steam, but we don't quite know for certain because we all know that she has like 90% of the black vote. We do know that for certain. However, James Tellerico has 90% of the white vote. It's just the Hispanics. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Let's just say Crockett has the attention. Hey, how are you doing, Nancy? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We all know that James Tellerico has the ear of the Hispanic man, and of course, Jasmine has the ear of the Hispanic woman. So we will see. We will definitely see. On the Republican side, I could care less. Um, we all know that Wesley Hunt ain't got a prayer in hell, but I don't want to I don't want to cast aspersions on the man. But tomorrow's the big day. I had just donated to Jasmine Crockett's stream, so you can support if you're not in that area. You can support otherwise. I think it's jasmineforme.com. I believe so. That's the website. Donate $5, $10, whatever you like to donate. It does help. It really does help. Where am I from? Boy. Who the hell's that about to get cussed? You better not be a white man asking me that question. Oh, no, no, no. You better not be a white man asking me that question. And you better be a nice black woman. You better be an elder asking me, where you from, boy? Where are you from, boy? Yeah, but she's been hitting the campaign trail, just like she should, and talking with the people. The biggest threat is the simple fact that they just don't like her. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Boy, get back from them. Boy, get back. Now you're really being funny. You're really being funny. But let's see what Jasmine's been up to. here's my question. And so far, no one has asked me or answered this question. Why would you not want a black woman in office? Why would you not? I don't know. That makes no sense to me.
Political experts point to the Senate Democratic primary as a driver for turnout. The enthusiasm for it reached Lubbock this week, with both candidates drawing big crowds for rallies.
KCBD News Channel 11's Madeline Hall joins us with a look at the two competing campaigns and how Lubbock plays into their fight. Madeline.
Karen and Abner, the University of Texas's Texas Politics Project, released a survey today giving an early indication where voters may stand in the primary race between James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. The survey, which has a 5-point margin of error, has Congresswoman Crockett leading State Rep Tallarico 56% to his 44%. Now, they both made campaign stops here in Lubbock this week, hoping to garner support before early voting closes. State Representative James Tallarico was the first to campaign here in Lubbock Sunday. He's represented the Austin area in the State House for 8 years. Now, he says it's time for change.
I'm up here in the Panhandle, up here in Lubbock, because I want to be a senator for this part of the state. And you don't always see Democrats coming out here. I hope it shows the people here in Lubbock that I'm serious about representing them in our nation's capital.
Before becoming a lawmaker, Tallarico was a middle school teacher. That experience, he says, inspired much of his legislation in the Texas House and connects him with the needs of young people across the state.
Jobs, the environment, gun safety, these are all things that affect young people in particular, and they're not getting the attention they need. I think electing a young person to office will help. If I'm elected, I'll be the youngest U.S. Senator in America, and I will focus on the issues that we care about.
But he says he's also keenly aware of the issues that face areas like Lubbock, despite growing up in the state capital.
And I know that farmers and ranchers here in Texas are hurting. These disastrous tariffs, the bailout of Argentina are undercutting our cattle ranchers. So we need a U.S. Senator who's going to fight for Texans and Texans only. That's the kind of senator I want to be.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett then followed suit Monday. She says her trip was inspired by a young girl's tweet to represent Democratic voices here in Lubbock.
So having a 15-year-old reach out to me and tell me that she really wanted to help out on the campaign and wanted to know whether or not I could come to Lubbock, it hit me in a different way.
Before she was a congresswoman, Crockett served in the Texas House for 2 years, from 21 to 23. Her congressional district was redrawn by the state legislature this session, prompting her to set her sights on the Senate. She says she's more than just the viral moments we saw in the House. She's ready to lead.
I actually have a ton of substance, and it's substance that I have been working on and attempting to make sure that whatever issues all Texans have, that I have been pushing forward with. That's what I think is going to get us there, is making sure people know me beyond what they know me as of right now.
She too says she's ready to fight for rural areas like the South Plains, saying she's focused on everyone from the producer to the consumer.
I think it is important to understand their struggles, because I think when you start to get to rural areas, we start to really see the interconnectedness a lot more easily.
Politically,
Now, the winner of the Democratic primary will advance to the November general election. The incumbent, John Cornyn, is facing multiple challengers on the Republican ballot, including Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and Houston Congressman Wesley Hunt.
We don't care for neither one of those. Toronto checking in. Hakeem Jeffries is from the Mo T Show. What the fuck? What is going on? What is going on? They hate intelligent black men and women. Well, that all stops today. That all stops here in the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Although, also, I should say, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I think this would now be our main focus. Farga StreamYard. costs too much goddamn money. So, well, might as well get, since you mentioned his name, might as well get to the cream of the crop. You remember how they was accusing Jasmine Crockett of stealing Apex money? Well, we have this Negro here. And this Negro, I said to myself, something tells me not to put too much stock in Hakeem Jeffries. And it's because of the simple fact that I saw him acting ass 2 maybe 3 weeks ago. I saw him act like a complete ass on the Joy Reid show. Y'all remember when he was on the Joy Reid show? And he was like, listen, you have your thing and I have mine. And I said from there, I'm like, so you one of them, huh? Well, it gets worse. It gets worse from there, fam. It totally gets worse. So, without further ado,
to find a new leader for the Democratic Party. This is me saying this. Your caucus is weak, and the head of that caucus has zero capacity, in my opinion, to lead in this moment. And this is why I'm saying it. Representative Hakeem Jeffries exposed for funneling AIPAC money. Here it is.
A shadow super PAC linked to Hakeem Jeffries is funneling AIPAC money into Valerie Foushee. Let me repeat that again. Hakeem Jeffries is working with AIPAC to attack our candidate, NIDA alum, in her race.
Before I go any further, doesn't this AIPAC money involve anything with Israel? It doesn't have anything to do with Israel, does it? Thomas Massey has zero money from AIPACs. So does Jasmine. So that's two people's. This is one greedy Negro. It allegedly, he's one greedy.
For North Carolina's 4th Congressional District. Just last night, AIPAC and the AI industry dropped over $2 million into the race.
NIDA alum gets into the race in December.
Right.
December 9th. Very late.
Yeah. We started in July, by the way.
A March primary, right? But almost at the exact same time, there is this commission that Hakeem Jeffries puts together on AI and the innovation economy. And Jeffries appoints Foushee as one of the co-chairs.
This is odd. So the second time it has ever spent any money is this $600,000 on behalf of Foushee. Now, I've been told by sources, some with direct knowledge of this, that this is a Hakeem Jeffries PAC, that Hakeem is guiding this. Now, I've also been told by a source with knowledge of this that it is funneling AIPAC money. So instead of using these Elect Chicago Women PACs, Hakeem Jeffries is setting up a vehicle that is allowing AIPAC money to come through. And we know how they're doing it thanks to Matthew Eady's reporting.
Matthew Eady recently discovered how AIPAC is hiding its donations using 3 campaigns for, you guessed it, Hakeem Jeffries, aka AIPAC Shakur. I created a graphic to help you understand how the secret campaigns are structured and why you won't.
So let me get this straight. 3 of these particular people that she just mentioned, they're all funding Hakeem Jeffries, right? I create a graphic to help you understand how the select campaigns are structured and why you won't be able to see AIPACs in Flex building, but AIPACs will be able to track donations requiring ID and show candidates how much their network has donated to buy pro-Israel. Oh, so that's how it works. Oh, right. Now I get it.
Won't be able to see AIPAC and FEC filings, but AIPAC will still be able to track donations through unique IDs and show candidates how much their network has donated to buy pro-Israel votes. And here is the graph. You can see it here, AIPAC. And then we have the Democracy Engine. 3 of these that are funneled through Hakeem Jeffries. So here's how it works, you guys. AIPAC directs its donors to the Pro-Israel Network website via email campaigns. And then the Pro-Israel Network uses Democracy Engine as its payment processor. That's AIPAC Shakur, that's Hakeem Jeffries. And then donations are recorded as individual donations from Democracy Engine. In the back end, each pro-Israel network campaign is recorded with a unique ID.
AIPAC also sent directly to Hakeem Jeffries through this same process and using this Democracy Engine. AIPAC sends directly through this process to the Jeffries Victory Fund.
Right.
So then it raises.
And then Jeffries gives to Article 1 PAC, and then Article 1 PAC gives. Wow. It's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame. So last year, 10 billion tax dollars were sent to Israel. Who was in charge? Biden. Who was in charge? Biden. Am I wrong? I mean, last time I checked, he was president before he ended up getting sick, and then Kamala Harris took over. So now I'm starting to get why everybody's such in an uproar. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Or is it the enemy of my enemy is my enemy? No, because if they were your enemy, you wouldn't be taking money from them. But obviously you did take money from them. Wow. Okay.
From Hakeem Jeffries not being able to answer a simple and relevant question from Joy Reid. Hey, Mr. Leader, do you think it's time to abolish ICE? He stutters. He's non-committal. He wants reform when over 60% of Americans are saying get rid of them.
No, he doesn't want to get rid of them. He has a plan to have Republicans hold ICE accountable for their actions. No, abolish them bitches. You can't even say the word, can you? No, he didn't. No, you listening. You listen here. I'm going to do what I got to do, and you do. Oh, no, that's not what he said. He said, you have your way of saying things, and I have mine. However the case may be. That's your boy. Now, he's in trouble with this.
Finally have the wind against your back, dear brother. It's time to lead if you haven't led before. You have the wind against your back. The vast majority of people are with you. And if you're the people's champ, and the sacred thing are the voters that put you there, rather than the special interest groups that you cozy up to, this is an easy decision.
Yep.
It's easy.
Yeah.
From Congressman Hank Johnson to others, they have called for the abolishment of ICE. No reform. And then we find the AIPAC angle. We already knew the brother was compromised on various levels with AIPAC. But AIPAC understands they're compromised so much. They are self-aware enough to know that in order to still get their agenda done, they must funnel money in secretive tunnels of finances. They have to hide it from you. Keep the influence. It's called soft influence. Keep the influence steady, but the money, who it came from, is hidden. The agenda is still in play. And the irony that anyone, especially on the left, who would take a damn penny from a lobbying group who supports a man who's a wanted war criminal for crimes against humanity is totally insane to me.
Ooh.
Even if you just cite that on the record and say, for that reason alone, I won't accept any money that lobbies on behalf of a government where the leader of that government is, in fact, a current wanted war crime lord.
I have to say, my grandmother used to say, money is the root of all evil. In this case, money is the root of all desperate people. And Hakeem Jeffries at the time was looking mighty desperate. That's why I had to look at him with a third eye, and I had to say, nah. Something about him says, I smell pussy. He was doing all. Nah, Hakeem was smelling like ass, bro. Nope. And so I was wondering why he wasn't him and another person. Well, I won't mention his name. Why didn't he endorse Jasmine? Kamala did. And then some other lady did from Congress. I forgot what her damn name was. Her name was so simple. I was like, why didn't Hakeem Jeffries help fund Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate? And they were all telling me, it's like, she has problems in the Democratic Party because Democrats won't even support Jasmine Crockett. This was back then, but now all of a sudden, it's like, And each time I hear this dude talk, he always ends up saying the same lines over and over and over again. And you wonder why people are getting upset because of the promises, quote unquote, that people make, and they don't never keep their promises. At least, well, we don't know what Jasmine can do because Jasmine's not in the seat yet. She's not in the Senate seat yet. She talks too reckless. Yes, so does Trump. But Trump's a convicted felon 34 times. I looked at her. I don't see any convictions on Jasmine. None. Hell, she's a defense lawyer. Make it make sense.
Just that. And keep it moving. At least you'll have some integrity. AIPAC's expressed intent is to lobby on behalf of the Israeli government. For 17 years, Representative Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, and the minority leader of the Democratic caucus, has been taking pilot meetings with J Street, the center-left lobbying group that promotes a two-state solution in the Middle East. But in all those years of relationship building, Mr. Jeffries never sought the group's endorsement. He was more closely associated with AIPAC, the hardline pro-Israel government lobbying group that has long supported him financially. and has in the past discouraged lawmakers it backs from aligning themselves formally with a group that holds a different stance on Israel. That changed in September 2025 when Mr. Jeffries, for the first time, was open to and accepted J Street's official support. It was a coup for J Street, which is highly critical of the current Israeli government is seeking to establish itself as the mainstream voice about Israel on Capitol Hill. Jeffries is so closely associated with the American Israel Public Affairs Committee that the radio host Charlemagne the God recently mocked him as AIPAC Shakur. So the fact that he could take such a step is a symbol of a broader sea change occurring in Congress when it comes to Israel and the...
Oh yeah, before I forget, for those of you Trump supporters out there, let's not forget that you have children out there. I'm not letting none of this shit go just because he went over to Iran and killed their prime minister leader or whatever. I'm not letting that shit slide for none of it, because there's a soft spot in my heart for the survivors. Needless to say, there was a couple of things that were going on as I'm reading the paper, and I usually read the paper ever so often, and there are still girls missing. There are girls missing. There are boys missing every single day. I am not letting it go. We are not letting this go. We are not letting this slide, not one bit. Now, when it comes to the Epstein files, I told you yesterday that a couple of files are missing. You only get 1% of the files. And then the rumor has it that you're not releasing any more files, which is a violation of the rule of law. So at this juncture, I don't know what the hell is going to do, but the situation is going to get mighty worse from here. Going to get mighty worse from here. But as I stated before, we're not letting this go. Either he's going to get convicted, or we're going to be out in the streets again. And I'm not missing No Kings. If they do another No Kings, I'm not missing this one. Hell no. They were in my city.
Clout of what has for decades been the most powerful pro-Israel group in American politics. With American support for the Israeli government's management of the conflict in Gaza undergoing a seismic reversal, and Democratic voters' support for the Jewish state dropping off steeply, AIPAC is becoming an increasingly toxic brand for some Democrats on Capitol Hill. However, with Israel's reputation...
Who the fuck is scared of that fat fuck? For a nigga talking, for a white boy talking shit up in here, who the fuck is scared of Trump? What is he gonna... The only thing Trump's fat ass is gonna do is hire a couple people to come get me. He ain't got the guts to come get me his damn self. The fuck is wrong with you? Are you that dumb? Are you that slow, or are you just that dumb? I see several missing children ads on social media every day. Yeah, it's wrong. It's just fucking wrong. But a lot of things are legalized in America. It's just A lot of things are legalized in America. Prostitution is legalized in some areas, not all. Drugs, they don't mention anything about make this make sense. Drugs are legalized, but prostitution is illegal. You might as just make everything legal. If drugs, whether it be weed, it used to become a time where you could not smoke weed because it was illegal. But now you got every like 1,000 what you call them damn things? Hold on, people. Because I was an Uber driver once, and I'll think of it later. Fuck it. Dispensaries. You got so many damn dispensaries everywhere because it's legalized here in America. Except for Texas, and I think Iowa. Except for Texas, and that's sad. It's sad because I wanted to move to Texas. They are making billions. That's the government. If the government can't put their hands on it, then it's illegal. You can't even get a drop. You can't even get a drop of rain. You can't even take one of these and you can't say, I want purified water. You take that purified water from the earth, boil it, freeze it, and it's yours. What up, Vaughn? King Vaughn in the building. Blessings.
Reaching record lows among Democrats. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee is resorting to ever more sophisticated methods to support its preferred candidates while cloaking its own involvement. The amount of money that the premier pro-Israel organization is able to spend on elections is extraordinarily valuable to candidates who would otherwise have little chance of winning. But it now comes with a catch. If voters know the money comes from an organization advocating on behalf of the Israeli government, it can do more harm than good. Put them up. Boom ass. AIPAC road tested its stealth approach in 2024. House primary in Oregon that pitted Sushila Jayapal, the sister of Representative Jayapal, Democrat out of Washington, against Dr. Maxine Dexter, medical doctor. Dexter raised relatively little money throughout much of her campaign. Then saw a last minute surge organized by AIPAC, coupled with outside spending through super PACs, which themselves turned out to be funded by AIPAC also. The timing of the donations meant that there was no meaningful transparency before the voters went to the polls. And Dexter expressed a mixture of ignorance and umbrage when it came to her opponent, suggested the money came actually from AIPAC. Oh, I don't know, not sure. I would have to check the record. The main super PAC in question, named 314 Action, explicitly denied that any funding came from AIPAC. Nope, no AIPAC funding here. A claim revealed as a flagrant lie once disclosure records finally became public. But by then, Dexter had triumphed and was on her way to Congress. Campaign staffers expected AIPAC to continue using the tactic in this year's primaries. Chicago City Treasurer Melissa Conyers-Irvin in the 7th, former U.S. Representative Melissa Bean in the 8th, and
why do these people look so angry? Oh, I gotta let you see this because I'm stupid. Why do these people over here look so? Damn, smile a little bit more. Why don't you?
State Senate Laura Fine in the 9th. Conyers-Irvin was recently called out during the debate about it. Here it is.
I'll never take a single penny from corporate PACs or APACs, not now, not ever. But I want to be very clear that there are candidates up here who are bought and sold. Melissa Conyers-Irvin is one of them. And I'll tell you right now, Melissa, you should resign from your post because you have been a horrible city treasurer. And on top of that, you also take APAC money, and you are not here to represent the interests of the people that are right before you. In addition to that, Jason Friedman didn't have the courage to show up. Guess what? He's getting APAC aligned money as well. And, you know, Anthony, I really like you, but I also know Michael and Carrie Sachs gave you $7,000, and they are some of APAC's biggest donors. So I want to know if you're going to return that money.
That folks can fix their mouths to say anything.
APAC was originally with Jason Friedman. It was widely reported. When he started looking like he didn't have a path, he hedged their bets, and he decided to buy a black woman candidate.
I am a black woman born in Inglewood, raised on the West Side. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, and that I will not turn my back on my community. If you think that I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and vote against myself, that is insane.
So I'm the only candidate up here that APAC actually stood opposed. Melissa Conyers-Irvin, you do not get to hide behind the blackface in our community when you are selling us out. You do not get to take on Donald Trump when you're being funded by the very people that Trump is being funded by.
Damn. Let me read some of these comments. Oh, Jasmine's more qualified, of course, but like I said, tomorrow's the last. Tomorrow is it. So I don't know. I'm confident that she'll come up on top. I am definitely confident that Jasmine will come up on top, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Pray that she wins. And then, of course, she wins this one. It's off to the general. And that's even tougher. So we'll see. We will definitely see. I'm tired of the freaking money. The $100 billion last year that automatically goes to Israel. How does that automatically go to Israel is my question. So you're telling me that, of course, we all know that Israel, controls the United States of America primarily. So everything that these people do, the funding goes to Israel. I gotta study this. And I'm asking the chat, where can I study this? Where can I absolutely study this? Is there a book? Is there an ad? Is there a newspaper? Is there a Wikipedia? Where can I study this? Does anybody know? Anybody know? And I can't pronounce that. And his entire Israel government are crazy, extreme, and corrupted. Library. Like I got time to go to the damn library. But just in case, what am I looking for in the library? I need the actual source. So where can I? What is the thing that I'm looking for? Am I looking for Israel and Apex? The why Israel is? There was a guy that absolutely. Hold on. I'll research it later.
In all due respect to the narrative that says I was born here and I've been black my whole life. In all due respect.
Don't nobody care.
Maybe, possibly, more noble than some. But because so many folks have come from our communities that did sell us out, because of that, do the right thing and say no to the money. There are plenty of meetings I've said no to. Not because I would ever sell out, because I care too much about the communities I represent. There's plenty of money I have said no to. Not because they can purchase me.
It's hard to say no to something. It's hard to say no to something that if you're looking at your competition and you can be corrupted. You can be corrupted if you're there long enough. It's the same thing as being a police. You can be a corrupt cop like that. What did Harvey Dent say in Batman? What was it? I'm a Batman fan. I forgot the damn movie. Batman Begins. Batman. The Dark Knight. Okay. Dark Knight. Harvey Dent goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I believe, not in my heart of hearts, but I believe in my conscience that Jeffrey thought he was slick. The Israel history is in the Torah. Thank you for that. Thank you. I gotta look that up. Gotta look that up. Listen to Dr. Gerald, or listen to Dr. Gerald Horn. He's all over the net. Okay. Thank you for that source. Thank you.
But because I wouldn't want that stain on me when I represented communities that have been harmed.
It's who you are backing. Can we get a pledge to not take AIPAC money and not take money from super PACs that may be funded by the big tech industry?
You would have to talk to those candidates about that. And so we don't have that kind of litmus test at the DCCC. What the DTRIP is looking for are candidates who are running serious campaigns. And I'm not here to be a spokesperson or even to validate that this type of big money playing in our elections is a good thing. But what I am saying is that these candidates are running smart campaigns, and I think that they would be happy to talk with you about their candidacies, Joy.
Please send them our way. The folks in the chats have lots and lots and lots of ideas. They like to see a platform writ large from the Democratic Party saying, get rid of ICE, end ICE. They like no AIPAC funding. So that's one that was free to you. We charge nothing for this advice.
Once again, Democrats don't get it. The reason why Republicans were successful with Trump is because Trump lied and said he would deliver the agenda. All right. They believed Trump would deliver the agenda. Democrats would tell you, I'm not delivering your agenda. It doesn't matter that the majority of Democrats want you to deliver the agenda. Democrats would tell you, I'm not going to do it. Or they would hem and haw about how difficult it is to simply be decent and to not take money from those who kill and murder. They can't do that. So if they can't do it while campaigning, what happens when they get the job and that door closes and nobody's in there but the candidate you elected and a powerful billionaire? The person that's best to talk about being steamrolled by these outside factions during a campaign, because my dear sister, Senator Turner, you were up by double digits in your congressional race. You were the heir apparent, and they came. AIPAC money came, swooped in, and did the same thing to you. But this was before it was this mainstream in the political conversation. Tell us about that experience and tell us how you feel about this latest onslaught of AIPAC.
Yeah, that's right, Doc. And thank you for having me on today to talk about this. I want people to remember, even though 21 and 22 seem so far away, but that special election of 2021 was the first race where AIPAC or AIPAC affiliated, or what we would call Israel First type PACs, played in this race in a very serious way. Like every clip, every line that you read, it was making me have flashbacks about the pain points. 21 in a special election, and they carried it out in 2022 in the regular election cycle. And I can remember there were 11 candidates in that race, and the two top contenders was myself and the person who got the seat purchased for her, who is in this seat right now, who has received well over $1 million. I think it's at about 1.4 or so $1 million from AIPAC and AIPAC affiliated groups. In that special election, Doc, of 2021, Republicans crossed over in that special election to vote for this person. And I did not win that. I lost that race by about 4,000 votes. But your point is right. In May of 2021, I was 30 points ahead. And these people walked me down. I outraised her candidate to candidate. I outraised her significantly. Got donations from every single state in the United States of America, including the District of Columbia. My race had become a battle cry, if you will, for...
Wait a minute. Now, I don't want to get over myself. But if you are surging, I mean, you're soaring in the polls, all it takes is a little AIPAC money to see that you come all the way down and your opponent go all the way up. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? I guess that's why they call it the Electoral College. I might be wrong on that one. I'm just trying to think of how elections work, although it's quite obvious that you don't choose your presidents, you only choose your locals because it's a local area depending on, it's a local district depending on what district you're from. Everything is local. You can vote on your local senator, and legislators and stuff like that. Your city councils, you vote on those, which I plan on doing so myself. But I'm trying to think how elections work, and this woman right here just gave me something to think about. I'll ask my eldest cousin, who is a lawyer. And I might be wrong about this. So again, if I am running for senator and I'm soaring in the polls, right? You mean to tell me with a little AIPAC money, depending on who's funding, well, we all know who's funding the opponent, what my opponent is. If they fund my opponent, you mean to tell me I'm basically invincible? It's like I'm out of the race. It's like I lost. All for a little AIPAC money. So these people are cheating then. Israel appoints presidents. Am I wrong? Israel appoints presidents, not America. Please tell me I'm wrong. I'm trying to figure this out on a whim. I'm literally trying to figure this out. And I might be right, I might be wrong. Please tell me.
Aggressors post the 2020 presidential election as we saw neoliberals again steamroll Senator Bernie Sanders and our entire campaign and movement. AIPAC Shakur, aka leader Hakeem Jeffries, came into my district and campaigned against me. I want our viewers to understand this is a solidly Democratic district, meaning one Democrat or another was going to win. But you know what it was about? This race became nationalized because of me. And what those forces didn't want, the Israel Firsters, what the Congressional Black Caucus did not want, because they know that they cannot, side by side with me, they look like the frauds that they are. And I'm not talking about all of them, but I'm talking about the majority of them. I would make them look bad, Doc, so they didn't want to. So they teamed up with the AIPAC-led groups, Democratic Majority for Israel, all these Israel First groups. If people go and look at the donations that the two number one competitors, but being the person that's in the seat, go back and check the individual donations that she got, because you see how they play a shell game here. Yep. She got direct donations from Republicans who were doing the bidding of AIPAC and other Israel First groups directly, and the point that was made about the type of emails that go out. So if they don't want to give directly, they give indirectly by telling their donors, hey, donate to her. And then, because PACs cannot coordinate that, as you said, the candidate will put stuff out either on social media or what we would call in the business a red box. So the candidate says all the things, and that then is the signal to the super PAC.
Hold on a second. Gotta do some things real quick. Vaughn, are you still here? Let me know if Vaughn, I hope you didn't leave. Oh, fuck. Let me see. All right. Had to redo some things. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check.
Messages that the candidate that they are supporting. Before there was Congresswoman Bush, before there was Congressman Bowman, there was State Senator Nina Turner running hard, running strong, walk me down. And then in 22, I ran again. Mind you, 21 was a special. In order for me to really see if I could, penetrate, you got to come at me. You got to do it again. That regular election cycle 2022, they had perfected the madness, and they came at me again. They are on the record as saying, and there's so many points I can make. And I just want to thank TYT and the TYT family, UDOC, Jinx, so many other people who got in there and was very supportive of my race out in the open saw before people fully understood it now. See, people didn't understand then what they understand now. I'll never forget, because my staff, we were baffled. I didn't even know why these people were coming at me like this. That I just didn't understand it. And I remember having a meeting with a group of Israel Firsters, and at that time still didn't get it, because I'm just a public servant trying to understand how I ran a file. What happened? I'm just trying to serve the children in this district, 1 of every 2 who go to bed every night hungry. I'm just trying to serve the residents of this district, all of them, as I did as a state senator. So I'm trying to understand why they coming at me like this. 2 things. I got a call from a prominent donor who has supported me in the past, and he said the following. He said, Nina Turner, I don't know you anymore. He said, I'm getting word that you're going to be just like the squad. And so they started complaining about people like Congresswoman Bush and others, the squad members. And he said, we're going to hold you responsible for this. And I tell you what, if you want to win this race, you must disavow the squad. And this right here, he said, Palestinians, and this is,
oops. Sorry. That was my fault. Because I'm doing too. It looks like I won't have to stream on my phone anymore.
And this was the gentleman is older than me. And I had all kinds of thoughts in my head. I said, well, you're going to have to come. Because what I am not going to do is sell out my morals, my principle, or my grandmama, or my granddaddy, who reared me in such a way. I am a humanitarian. The nerve of you to say these things to me. And then the second, I met so many times trying to prove myself until it's gnawing, Doc. Yeah. It's humiliating. that I'm trying to figure out what did I do wrong, only to realize I did nothing wrong but be a humanitarian and want to serve the people of the Ohio 11th district and would not sell out. But I remember meeting with a group of them, with one of my team members, and they said these words, that there is nothing significantly different between you and Chantel Brown, the person that's in the seat now on domestic side. Y'all are interchangeable. Because these people said this to my face. You two are interchangeable. They said it's on Israel that you are not. And we have done enough for the Black community. And what we are not going to stand for is somebody like you getting in that office. They said that to my face, and the rest is history. So much I'm leaving out, Doc. But I just thank you for laying this out the way that you are, and that you continue to. TYT is a network, and giving me the space to remind people that my race was first. Reject AIPAC is out now. They weren't there when I was running, but people's eyes are open. And as you laid out, the majority of Democratic voters do not want what is happening now. And I believe that the majority of Americans, if they fully understood how big money contorts and pollutes, not just AIPAC, the NRA, big pharma, big medical, all of them. They do the bidding for the multimillionaires and billionaires in this country who do not all of them, but the ones, the ruling class people who don't want the rest of us to have anything else. And these people answer to their owner donors with a few exceptions. Reject AIPAC also, they put out all the time, so people should follow them. But Doc, they did a big graphic on the Hispanic caucus, bought and sold. The Asian caucus, bought and sold. The Black caucus, bought and sold, the overwhelming majority. And the Congressional Progressive Caucus, all bought and sold, particularly by AIPAC. We must do a new thing in this country, and that is to reject all of this big corrupting money in politics, so that the individuals that live in these districts get to pick their leaders and not the other way around. And there's a particular anti-Blackness to how AIPAC comes in. Even if there's another Black person running, it is a strong, they come at all progressives, but they come in a particular way against Black progressives, and it is.
Okay. Okay. Needless to say, now that I've heard this, but I want to say this. We all knew this. There was a comedian named George Carlin warned us all of this very same thing when it comes to politics, on the politics side of the game. And what he had stated verbatim is something that we should all take heed to, or if we already have, then we already know the game. And like what my man said, game over. True that. I mean, it's just like any other, senator. There was a guy named Kirkpatrick, the Detroit mayor, who had a lot of fun until the fun was over. Till he got caught up, and one of a stripper ended up dead because of his nonsense. And so they ended up taking his little toys away, and he ended up doing some jail time. And I'm not saying that everybody does this. I'm not saying everybody, but it's kind of hard in this later time. And we're all saying this. We want somebody to cater to the people who are in a lower class said it. We're all trying to be in the middle class. There ain't no middle class anymore. Ain't no way we're going to be in upper class unless we're going to sell out to somebody. So we're just trying to hold our heads above water. We're here every day, making ends meet, having a 9 to 5 or whatever, and we got to pay these bills. And because of the war on Iran, everything's, prices are going to go up, tariffs are going to go up. I went grocery shopping this morning, and good Lord, I only got a few items and had to spend over $50. That's just insane. Just grab a few little items here and there. The pricing on these items are insane. I mean, there was a time where you had to get like a box of chips, and they used to be like $5. Now it's like they're 10. They're $10. And then I had to get a packet of meat. Packet of meat should be $8. It's $11. Some smart guy yesterday said that a dozen eggs, that's 12, cost $1.50 in North Carolina. I looked it up. Facts told me, nah, survey says, Here in the state of Nevada, a dozen eggs in a pack cost $6. And it all depends on where you live too. It all depends. It comes from the top to the bottom. I think the cheapest one is Maine. I'm not sure. The cheapest state is Maine. But everybody else, including California, had to pay $5 to $6 for a dozen eggs. Approximately. Whew. So you have to realize this. America, they're only good at one thing: war, and benefiting from it. That's what it is. They don't necessarily care for you. They don't necessarily care for you or I. And that's why and Trump supporters don't give a shit. As long as it benefits them, or they just like to play this particular game and saying we're winning because I like what he's doing for the border, or I like what he's doing with taxes, or I like what he's doing with this little things, not knowing that it's going to hurt what he is doing is hurting somebody else. He does not care. He doesn't even care for cops. He does not care for police officers that patrol the streets. The only time he ever cares is if it benefits him and he needs police. But he would rather take the federal officers for the federal government. Excuse me. And then yesterday he ended up killing their supposedly, allegedly, because I didn't even see a body, killed their leader the other day. I said, if you say the word obliterate one more time, I'm going to smack you in the face with a dictionary. Because obliterate means to get rid, like bye-bye, don't see again. He had said this before, right? So he goes up there, and already the people in the Americans the Americans over there had already gotten killed. And his dumb ass is going to go, well, you know, there are going to be tragedies. It doesn't have to be. You already blasted a school full of school kids. You already hit, with Israel's help, you already hit an airport. Not all the way, thank God. You already hit an airport in Dubai when everybody was trying to get out. And there's still war over there to this day, right now. And didn't I hear specifically that he wanted a ceasefire? Tell me I'm wrong. Did Trump want a ceasefire? Kwame Kirkpatrick, thank you for the win. But didn't Trump want a ceasefire? How the hell are you going to? You're going to go into somebody's backyard, punch them in their mouth, and then run and say, hold up. I want to negotiate. It don't work that way. You're in it, and you're in it all the way. It's crazy. This dude is crazy. And on top of that, he still got to come to America and face the consequences for his actions for so many years ago. He still got to face those. But I wish for the one more time, because I have to give credit to the Supreme Court that they kind of like gave him a slap in that. They only gave him a slap on the hand on the tariffs. To me, they only gave him a slap on the hand and then say, look, you can't collect money from these. You can't collect any type of money from these people. Oh, no. And Trump said, to hell with you. I can do whatever I want, and I'm going to up the tariffs. Oh, excuse me, 15%. This dude's nuts. But people like crazy people like this.
Anti-Black all day long. Like, I am going to write about my experience, not just that, but my larger experience sometime soon in my memoir. But I think I'm glad the eyes are opening, even though they didn't open soon enough for my race, but eyes are opening and I see transformation happening. You should be the only special interest. When people run in their district, the people that they're running to serve should be their only special interest. And you are absolutely right. I've been saying Jeffries is compromised. And they need to check themselves. A lot of them must go too.
Yeah. It's sad, but it has to be said and it has to be done. Too much at stake here. All right.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. And it's very sad for the lady that just spoke. Overall, so you already knew what the deal was. If you didn't know then, if you don't know now, you're gonna know later on. As a politic figure, you're gonna get played each and every single time. And this is the reason why you need teams around you. You need team players around you, those that you particularly don't have any ties to. Always keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Always have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with people that think they have your best interest, but really they don't. Hakeem Jeffries wasn't going to do shit anyway. He's too weak. too fucking weak. I mean, do you obviously see him as president? And I feel sorry for me because I voted for Obama not once but twice. I did. I voted for Obama not once but fucking twice. And did I regret it? Absolutely, but I can't tell you what I regret because I was young. I think I was in my mid-20s. And I didn't know shit about politics. Well, I do now. Thanks to a couple of influencers. What else do we have? What else? I like this dude right here. Not him, but the other one. Hold on.
Incredibly stupid. They're destroying the party right now. They're destroying trust in the party right now.
So you're not just a pundit commenting on Hakeem Jeffries from a distance. If you are elected to Congress, you will be a member of his caucus?
Yeah, I will, but I won't be voting for him for leader.
Well, you beat me to my question.
Yeah.
So he goes up for speaker, you'll say no?
No, I think he's failed as leader for the Democratic Party.
As a freshman who comes into a House Democratic majority, you will say, I'm not backing Hakeem Jeffries.
Not only am I not backing Hakeem Jeffries, I'm talking about I'm going to be calling for people to primary all the Democrats who have completely failed this party.
You think Hakeem Jeffries should be primary?
Yes, absolutely. I'm saying that to the camera. Hakeem Jeffries should be primary. If there's someone out there who can primary him, please do it.
There is a young city councilman who's doing very well at the moment called Chiose, who's being asked to run against him. Let's see what he does. Okay, so you've been very strong on that. Okay, let me ask you this. That's Hakeem Jeffries. What about Chuck Schumer? Should your old boss AOC run against Chuck Schumer in a primary, or should she run for president in a primary? Or should she do both?
Maybe. Oh, but could you do both? I mean, I'm not going to pretend to tell her what she should do. She should do what she wants to do. But Chuck Schumer should absolutely be primaried as well.
So not necessarily by AOC, but he should be primaried.
Yes.
But what do you think of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as a presidential candidate? You know her well. You were her first chief of staff.
Oh, yeah. I think she brings the kind of politics that this moment really does need. And I think it's up to her whether she wants to run for president. But when I think about what actually needs to happen to fix this decline, because when I talk about the decline,
yes,
I think you need not just different policies, you need a different kind of leadership. Because when you think about FDR, he brought the public along for the ride. And part of that is communicating, is saying what you're doing. It's a different mode of politics. Because Democrats believe political capital is a battery. And every time you do something, you use it up, right? We actually need this other way of thinking, which is by doing stuff, we get political capital. But to do that, you need an excellent communicator and someone who actually wants to make a difference and someone who's committed. And I think she's got that.
You want to recharge the battery.
Exactly.
Has she endorsed your campaign?
No, I'm not asking. I mean, I'm still running against Nancy Pelosi, so it is difficult for anyone in the caucus to endorse.
You previously worked as her chief of staff. You have said during that time you learned that Democrats were seen as, quote, weak, incompetent, and sluggish, and that they feel like a slow, bloated corporation.
Damn.
Give us some examples of what made you come to that conclusion, what you saw on the inside.
I'll tell you, the first week I went to the chiefs of staff meeting. So every Friday they would have a meeting to invite all the chiefs of staff for all the congressional offices for Democrats.
I don't know who this dude is, but interesting.
And I thought this was our moment. We were going to strategize, figure out what to do about Donald Trump, right? Actually do something. And those meetings were, oh my gosh, they're like, we've gotten complaints. There's too many staffers in the members only elevators. And have you guys filled out your TPS reports? It was that kind of stuff, right? It was like watching Office Space. And then I'd see Donald Trump saying something crazy. And, the Democrats' response was, we'll do a press conference next week, by which point he had done 10 more crazy things. It just clearly was not right. They just weren't up to the job in the moment. And they're clearly not, they haven't changed since then.
You yourself obviously received a bit of backlash, quite high profile backlash from Democrats during your time on the Hill. You went on Twitter and said that Democrats will, quote, seem hell-bent to do to black and brown people what the old Southern Democrats did in the 40s. Nancy Pelosi then reportedly told lawmakers in a private meeting that they should tell their staffers to basically shut up, think twice before they tweet. She seemed to be referring to you. Hakeem Jeffries' linked account criticized you publicly, said, get Sharice David's name out of your mouth. So I think you'd specifically criticized a Native American Democrat, Congresswoman. Do you regret being so vocal at the time in that way?
So first, I didn't specifically name her. Okay. I was very frustrated. The context for that was Nancy Pelosi had promised the caucus that we would actually fight on border funding for a bill that Trump was trying to push through, and she caved on it. And it wasn't just me, that a lot of the Hispanic caucus was very frustrated with this. And, I was mad, ended up tweeting. Should I have tweeted? Maybe not. But I think the bigger point here is, why did we cave? Right.
Yeah.
And it was a culmination of months of watching Democrats cave, Democrats preemptively giving up their leverage. And
what year was that?
That was 20.
It just screamed money. Money, 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 money. Egos. Money, money, money. Egos. Money, 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 money. Politics, ego, crashing. That's all it is. That's all it is. The higher you get, the more recognition. That's mainly what it is. So I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked, and I'm not surprised at this whole bit. You're bought, paid, and you're sold down the landscape. I'm not shocked. If you're willing to take Apex, if you're willing to take thousands and thousands of dollars, possibly millions, just to, I don't know, basically cheat yourself. Whatever happened to going door to door? Whatever happened to, traveling and meeting people and shaking hands and kissing babies? Whatever happened to that? Now we're borrowing money from Israel. I gotta see how far this thing goes, though. Thank you for the source. Thank you for the sources. Thank you for the sources. Now for the last thing of the night, because I am tired for some strange reason. What do we got here? Oh, Epstein shit.
Do not appear to be present on the Justice Department's website, and 3 of those witness interviews are related to a woman who told agents that Jeffrey Epstein had repeatedly abused her, starting when she was approximately 13 years old. She also accused Trump of sexually assaulting her. Now, we should point out here, the president has consistently denied any wrongdoing in connection with Jeffrey, and the White House is calling the allegations, quote, false and sensationalist.
The documents related to her testimony with the FBI are not there. So our question to the FBI and the DOJ is, why aren't the documents there? Why have they been removed? And Congress, under the Transparency Act and the subpoena, have a right to see them.
So that's the House Oversight Committee's ranking Democrat today. The president, as you know, has been treating the files as the ultimate not guilty verdict.
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And I've been totally exonerated. And I've been totally exonerated. On Epstein. Well, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated.
Well, keep it honest, that might be easier to say if the public had access to everything the federal government has on Epstein, Maxwell, and the many powerful people they moved among. Then citizen Trump included, who again says he did nothing wrong. These latest allegations first arose in July of 2019, just days after Epstein's arrest on federal charges. A woman called an FBI tip line. Agents interviewed her 2 weeks later, during which she told them Epstein had repeatedly abused her at a home he was staying at in South Carolina. The abuse started, she said, when she was about 13 years old. Now, according to the FBI interview record, a form known as a 302, when she showed agents a photo of Trump and Epstein that a friend had sent her. Her attorney said that she was, quote, concerned about implicating additional individuals, and specifically any that were well known due to a fear of retaliation. The Maxwell evidence log notes 3 additional 302 forms dated in August and October 2019 related to the same alleged victim, as well as 3 other sets of interview notes. Now, none of those appear to be present in the files released by the DOJ. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have now said the released files, which took an act of Congress to get released, are not all there is. And it's been more than a year since the Attorney General said this on Fox News.
Tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. It's a new day. It's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public.
A few days later, a bunch of right-wing influencers emerged from the White House, binders labeled the Epstein Files Phase 1. They soon found out there was nothing much new in them. That was February. By July, the Justice Department was trying to slam the door on it all, saying, quote, "While we've labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted." A bipartisan slate of lawmakers, including some of the president's otherwise die-hard supporters, were not buying that and set about forcing through legislation mandating full disclosure, of course, over the president's resistance.
We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
If there's nothing incriminating in the files,
Well, he finally did sign the bill, but when the deadline came, only a portion of the files came with it.
And so what we're doing is we are looking at every single piece of paper that we are going to produce, making sure that every victim, their name, their identity, their story, to the extent it needs to be protected, is completely protected.
On one of Epstein's 2 private islands, issuing stop work orders and weighing potential fines. Epstein appealed directly to the island's governor for help. Text messages uncovered by K-Files show Governor Albert Bryan Jr. telling Epstein he had asked one of the regulators to, quote, hold everything until speaking with him, and later sought the recusal of the commissioner overseeing the dispute. K-Files' Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. And, you know, Andrew, this is so...
I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond.
This is all part of the Oversight Committee's probe into dead pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and his child rape trafficking ring. Hillary Clinton, who has said she cannot recall even meeting Jeffrey Epstein, was asked about whether she had contact with Epstein's estate. And apparently she was also asked about Pizzagate. CNN's Annie Grayer is in Chappaqua, New York, where the hearing took place. Annie?
What? What about Pizzagate? Why was I not told all this? What the fuck is Pizzagate? What does that mean? What does that mean? Pizzagate conspiracy theory. Jasmine is a star. Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope she wins tomorrow. I do hope she wins tomorrow. Pizzagate is a debunked conspiracy theory claiming that high-profile Democrats ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington, D.C. pizzeria. Oh, God. Pizzagate emerged during 2016 U.S. presidential election after emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign chair, John Podesta, were released by WikiLeaks. Conspiracy theorists falsely claim that email contains coded messages linking Democratic officials to a pedophile ring allegedly operating out of the Comic Pigpen pizzeria in Washington, D.C., and inviting satanic rituals. The theory spread widely on platforms like 4chan, Reddit, and Twitter, leading a real consequences, including threats and a shooting incident in a restaurant. Okay, B. So what are they saying? It's all a hoax? So I got to get more into detail. First this Israel thing. Then first this Epstein files thing. Then this Israel thing. Then this Pizzagate shit. It's too late in the morning. Too late. Too early.
Well, Jake, the hearing has wrapped after over 6 hours of questioning that Secretary Hillary Clinton faced by both Democrats and Republicans. And she just addressed the press where she said that was a very repetitive deposition. She said she didn't know how many times she could repeat the fact that she had never met Jeffrey Epstein. She categorized this all as sort of a waste of time. She talked about how she only knew here, but Democrats are
beyond tomorrow in the sense that
and Jeffrey Epstein or other investigations. And so this could be precedent setting going forward, Jay, come the midterms and the White House's concerns over that. So we'll see what exactly that looks like going forward and what the questions are that they have for the former president when he goes in for his deposition tomorrow.
So this photo we found, it was on the Justice Department's website on January 31st, 2026. It was accessible there. Then it's taken down. We initially saw this yesterday on the Internet Archive Wayback Machine, and this link is not online. It's noticed. People online start saying, that looks a lot like Howard Lutnick. Members of Congress start saying Howard Lutnick needs to answer questions about this. The link is then restored only after people bring this up, okay? Only after people bring this up. After I've reached out to the Justice Department, to the Commerce Department, to the White House, this link is then restored late.
So it's almost as if someone thought they could just remove it before anyone noticed it. I'm not saying they did.
We don't know, but it's definitely
it could
possible.
be interpreted that way. Okay.
And then it's put back online. I think the statement that they gave to us said that it was part of a batch of images that were pulled for review and that are being uploaded with necessary redactions on a rolling basis. No files are being deleted. They said it was part of a batch of files that were flagged for nudity. I mean, obviously there's no nudity in that photo. That is what they've said. That is what they told.
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that are redacted. You can't look for them. They're right there. The names are there. The pictures are there. The videos are there. But how many of those businesses are missing? There are a lot of things that they don't want you to know. But then again, they're getting emboldened enough to say, we could care less. This ain't your fight. This world's getting stranger and stranger. All I know is those polls, but certain states better turn blue. And Jasmine better win tomorrow. She better win tomorrow. All right, fam. I gotta get some sleep because obviously I gotta get up and hit the hay in the morning. I'll basically see y'all this weekend. I want to thank everybody that's supporting me, supporting in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to all my supporters. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you next week or this coming Sunday.